Well, hello. Welcome to the Psychic Coffee Shop.
Ooh, I feel special. That was
Yeah,
awesome.
thank you. Thank you. It's been a while since you sat in our co host seat. How are you, honey?
I am doing well. Lots of changes this last couple of years, but I don't doubt that's not the same for everybody.
Well, true, Miss Rainey. So in 2008, we took the radio waves and started out on a little old blog talk. What did you think?
What did I think at the time?
Yeah.
You know, I remember you and I having this conversation when you first approached me with it, and I went, he wants me to do a radio show with him?
Uh huh.
I'm thinking, Aeson, you're so special and professional. What on earth are you doing asking me?
But you at the time, for those that don't know, Rainey had just joined Keen at the time. She had came over from Ask Now.
Yes.
Are you still with them?
Not Ask Now. I do some clients still on Keen, but most of my clients are private at this point.
Yeah, which I figure, because your bookings used to be crazy advanced. But I
Yes.
had gotten her to come to Keen, and we had started working together on other projects, like
Yes.
Psychic Biz. Oh God, do you remember we started Psychic Biz and Psychic Biz Live? And I said,
Yes.
I really like this, and podcasting is going to take off. We need to do this. We need to take the airwaves. And you were like, I'm like, yeah, come on. And you're good at talking. We have totally different viewpoints.
Well, at the time I thought you had been in the business so much longer than
Uh-huh.
I had. And I guess it
Right.
was about trusting myself,
Mm-hmm.
because, when you're used to doing readings, with one-on-one, privately with clients, and then to go on the radio and you're going, okay,
Uh-huh.
I don't know who's listening. I don't know how I sound. It was a little intimidating for me.
All
And
right.
then you told me, my guide, David, was it David?
Uh-huh. Yeah, David.
Said, nope, you need to ask Rainey. And I went, well, God, if David told me to do it, I have to do this.
Right. And when we started out, we scripted every word.
Yes.
Every word, every sentence. And about 3 shows in, I said, enough of this. Here's the articles the day of. Let's go do this.
Yeah, I remember just typing pages and pages, and I'd have yours in red and mine in green or blue or whatever the colors were. Everything was scripted. Yeah. And, part of my personality is having everything all ready. Even if I wouldn't read it word for word, it was about,
right.
Okay, it's here.
Right.
And of course, we went way beyond that. We got past that,
Yeah, we got past that. We got back to where we could sit down. Here's USA Today. All right, let's go through it. Let's talk about, oh God, what was 2008's big story? Do you remember?
God, no.
Me either. But anyway, example. Oh, here's an article on the Bush family and blah, blah, blah. All right, let's talk about that.
Yeah.
And we dive into it. And here's the basis. Here's my opinion. Here's your opinion. Well, and that's when we started really getting listeners.
Right.
Because, everybody would talk about this. CNN, everybody else. But people would come to us to hear our opinions. And I think that's the hardest thing I ever had with you, was to get you to give your opinion.
I don't do real well on that,
Yeah.
In fact, earlier we were having a conversation about, family.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to be one. I sit back, I listen,
Mm-hmm.
and then once in a while I'll put my input in.
Right.
Now, if you're wanting information and I'm doing a reading, I'm going to give you information. But
right.
Quite often, no, I listen.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And I think I'm better at it. It's certainly something that I've been working on over the years, but I still tend to go there.
Right.
Often I've had people say, you really drive me crazy because
Mm-hmm.
I feel like you're really being mean to me because you won't talk to me.
Uh-huh.
Well, if you're being an idiot, my mouth's shut.
Right.
I can sit there and let you be in, and of course I'm talking about,
Mm-hmm.
family and
Different opinion.
friends.
Yeah, family and friends, which, your family changed. We actually celebrated a wedding on the show.
We
You
celebrated a
became
wedding, a birth.
yeah, yeah, you became a grandma on the show.
Yeah, I became a nanny. I'm a nana.
Nanai.
Yes, they
Ah,
call me nanny.
ah,
Yes, it
yeah.
started off as Nana, but they always go Nanny, Nanny, Nanny.
Yeah, but you became a nana for the first time.
Yes, and now
I
I'm a Nana
moved, you
twice.
moved. Huh?
Yes, I'm a
Yeah.
Nana twice.
Yeah, but that was after you left the show. You went on tour, and then family stuff started happening.
Yes, we've had a lot of changes. Some of it, I don't think there's really anyone who cannot say in the last couple of years that they've gone through losses and challenges, whether it be your
Mm-hmm.
job, whether it be being sick. Um, we've had some miracles. My boyfriend, like I was telling you earlier, got to have a liver transplant, which we did not expect. I really thought I was going to be
Mm-hmm.
burying him. Literally thought I was going to be burying him. It was by a couple of weeks, and they said, "Hey,
Yeah.
guess what? And got a liver transplant. He's doing fine."
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I lost my brother last year,
Mm-hmm.
very unexpectedly. He was my brother who was 10 months younger than me, so that was rather shocking.
Mm-hmm.
And then, of course, August 20th, I lost my mother this year. So there have been a lot of losses.
Mm-hmm.
But, and this is one thing that I hope that people can find as they're going through these challenging times. Because I acknowledge, I don't think you nor I can talk to one person who does not feel like they've been hit, wham, bam, thank you, ma'am, here last couple of
Mm-hmm.
years. It's been tough. And, the thing that I would like to impart on people is, although those things are challenging and we're still going through things, that even when you have what we perceive as losses,
Mm-hmm.
okay, and you go through these challenges, that there are so many things to learn and so many good things
Mm-hmm.
come out of it, and so much
Oh yeah.
self-discovery
Mm-hmm.
in how you handle things and what life is really about and what is important in life and what isn't, and maybe
Right.
what you're going to put up with and maybe what you're not going to put up with. So
Exactly.
if we can look at it that way, at least I feel like that maybe is the journey that I've been on.
Mm-hmm. It's
I
been
don't
a
like,
journey we've all been on, and
yeah,
if you
that's
remember
what I'm
back, it
that's
was a
what I'm
while
saying.
there for a very long time, and I don't know if we ever said it on the show, but I know me and you talked about things are changing, things are going
Yes,
to get hard. We need to prep up. Actually, we did because we used to talk about having, your go bags ready. We used to
your
talk
go
about
bags
being,
ready, your house
yeah,
stocked.
yeah. We talked about all this back 2008,
Yes,
2010, 2012. Everyone was going all mad 2012. We're like, this ain't nothing. This ain't
this
nothing.
ain't
Don't go
nothing.
buying up, Tide and toilet paper. And, and I was thinking of you, and I think I may even checked in on you because it's hard to keep up with Rainey. Rainey has gone through a lot of changes. She now has this more significant other, that type of thing. But the toilet paper. And I'm
Oh,
like,
the toilet
we
paper.
talked about this.
Yes, I remember actually giving my maintenance man some toilet paper, and he snuck it out in his jacket so nobody else would know and he wouldn't get in trouble,
Uh-huh.
because everybody had been looking for toilet paper and my toilet had literally broken, and him and three other
Mm-hmm.
guys are over here fixing my toilet, and we were discussing toilet paper, He goes, I don't know what I'm going to do. I have no toilet paper in my house. I've been out for 2 weeks. I said, you know what? You came over here. You did me an extra. I said, come on over here. I'll slip you this on the way out the door. And handed him a little, 4-pack of toilet paper. Man, the guy was so happy.
Right. But if you remember, everyone was pulling this stuff back in 2012.
Right.
Especially the New Age community. And we were like, we all please stop.
Yes.
Just stop.
Yes.
Did me and you ever... I don't think we would have seen Corona as bad as it was. I don't think our gods wanted us to see it at all. Like, we used to talk about being prepared and that type of thing, but we never... And David's like, you didn't need to know this bullshit was going to go on because it could have been over a long time ago.
Right. And, when I knew it, it was like, when it came in, it was like, whoa.
Yeah.
What the heck? What is this?
Right.
I want to say a couple cuss words, but I'm trying to be polite.
Please do so that we... So
what the hell is going on
here?
And it was really kind of freaky. And then you got that, and you got the dang toilet paper thing.
Well, you got to remember 2012, it was fucking Tide.
Exactly.
Everyone was stocking up for their laundry soap.
Now, I will tell you, here's the blessing. And I always, me, I always try to see blessings. And some people might go, how can you say that about Corona? Okay, the only thing that I could really do to get out of my house here for the last little bit of time, like most people, the only thing they'd allow us to do was to go to the grocery store.
Well, but at the same time, it's like, can we get this shit under control? Like, just get it under control. At least they weren't doing what China was doing, which was welding people in their houses.
I know, with no food.
Yeah, no food, no supplies, just weld them in.
Exactly. And so one thing I did find, because my entertainment every so often was to go to the grocery store like everybody else. That stocking up I needed to do, it just kind of naturally happened.
Yeah, it did. All right. Well, and I made a comment to Rainey. So I'm going out on a date, and Rainey's like, oh, okay. So I might be late for a show.
Yes.
Then I started talking. Me and Rainey talked a lot, and she was getting ready for a tour. She was getting ready to go do things. She was going up to Cali to take care of stuff, and I'm like, okay. Well, and we're talking different things. And I'm like, yeah, he's coming down again. Yeah, he's coming down again. And then, that brought in this character, my other co-host with the mostest.
Hello. Oh. Yeah, so I guess so basically Rainey knew about me sideways. Now, were you also talking about this on the show? Was there like, ooh?
We never talk about anything personal on the show. No, never, ever.
Oh.
In all honesty, I think both Aeson and I do this, as part of our conversations anyway. In trying to talk to people, have discussions, and relate to people. Yes, we would use our own life situations. We didn't necessarily give names. He might say something like, oh, I know somebody who's got a really nice butt. But no more than that.
Yeah.
Oh, well, okay.
Yeah, that's going on for like 3, I don't know. I guess Rainey has been away for about 3 years. And
yes.
Joe's been in her seat and doing well. And during that time, PCSP Network launched a few shows. Conversations with Aeson, which is a show that I do when I want to sit down and actually have an intimate conversation with them, kind of like this style that we'll be doing tonight, guys.
Yeah.
And then Mountain Bears was launched, where we talk about LGBT issues and current events. And that's on Friday nights, and that's kind of added some characters in for us. One of our favorite characters is, the lovely Miss Dottie in her Lisa Frank outfit. How are you, darling? Rocking it again?
I'm actually doing pretty good right now. Things are
Yeah,
looking up.
they are. Now, me and you's working on another project called Coffee and Tea. That'll be popping in and out when we need it to. That'll be a cross network channel, so it'll be broadcasting over on Psychic Dottie.
Dottie the Psychic.
Yep. We're working on it, but and that'll be where we talk about some stuff. So, Dottie, what are you working on right now? You've been working on a really big project that started out as me having a tantrum.
Yes, it did. Oh my god. It started out as you having a temper tantrum, but I guess the whole serendipity, man. I have taken this just too far. I'm like, okay, I can get on here and regurgitate some gossip. Because I mean, really, you were there, I wasn't there. So I'm like, I don't even know all the details. But this seems like an issue that the psychic community needs to handle. And I have been working for I want to say 2 weeks on a script for psychic scammers. I don't think it's going to end up being as long as I thought it was because the outline is 9 pages long, but I didn't realize how bad it was specifically for psychics because I guess there's people out there spoofing their Instagram accounts.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, totally copying. There's been a couple other YouTubers that put out videos in the last week and a half about this subject. Two major psychic influencers.
Well, I've had to deal with that. Me and last year, I had to send out cease and desist letters all over the damn place.
Yeah.
Because that's the first step whenever someone steals your likeness or your image or your name, is you have to do a cease and desist.
Well, and the worst part about that situation was it wasn't even like it was like someone just trying to ride coattails to glory and steal some clients.
Right.
The ones that were doing it to him were networks that were using his image like he was on their network to gain a whole bunch of clients.
Yeah.
And advertising him like he was, like Miss Cleo on their network. And we're just sitting here like, this is flipping ridiculous. Like they were including his image in their emails. They were putting it in using videos. It was like, what the hell? And it wasn't like all the same place. It was like multiple places decided all at once, we're going to be real dumb and see what we can get away with.
Right.
Well, if you remember that place I used to work at many years ago, they tried to use my name.
Yeah.
And they put somebody else on there, and my clients got ticked off. They're like, it's not her.
This ain't her. This ain't her thing. So everyone go over and subscribe to Dottie's channel so you can get this stuff. Really see what goes on. Now, you do content almost daily now.
Almost daily. Yeah, I'm on TikTok almost daily. I've been trying to do because I drew my own deck, and I'm trying to get started on actually making a deck to eventually publish. That's way down the road, but it's in my purse, so it'll happen someday.
Yep, it is. I've already got the contact waiting for you. I just need you to stop it, write up the meanings, write up how to use them, and let's get them out.
I want to redo some of the art. Like I really do, because so this deck was my bar deck. The reason it's called a bar deck is because I drew it because I was the only sober bitch at the bar and I had nothing better to do but sit there and draw in this low light with pens and crayons and stuff. And that's how the bar deck came to be. And Dottie the Psychic, DOTTIE the Psychic, that you can find me just about anywhere under that.
Yep.
1 second, I'll get that out.
Yeah. But so I made 100 cards and I don't know if I want to just because some of them I was just bored. They're terrible. This is not my art. So I want to fix them up.
Right.
But I've been really thinking about putting that out there. I'm also starting an email list. So if you want to
Mailing
be one of
list.
my regular customers.
Yes. And keeping up with you.
Right. So those are things I just started. Like, I mean, you guys know I kind of went through a rough period where everything kind of shut down. I shut down everything for a couple of months. And so I'm finally starting to get that all running again. Working on this script. I did get something out for Mercury retrograde. That you never know what you're going to find on my channel. Blogs.
How-tos, crafting, outfit making. I mean, you've got a lot going on with your channel.
I haven't put any of the crafting or the outfit making on there because there's just too much foul language.
Send it over to your editor. He knows how to take care of that.
Like we can just take one of those the rainbow panels for an off-air network to strip the audio out of it and just overlay it.
Yeah.
So it's just like one test signal and Dottie doing crafting.
Yeah.
I don't actually know how to sew, but I can make it look like I do on the camera.
Yes. But, you do some very high quality videos. You do some different content. It's been great working with you. I remember the first time I met you, you came into the shop that I was working at, and you were kind of like, so I've got some God's odds to sell. And I'm like, so does every high school student around here.
Mine were pretty, though. I actually did some actual fancy work to mine.
Yeah.
I haven't made a God's Eye in forever.
No.
I still got because I got some giant dowel rods. I was gonna make one like this big.
Ooh.
Yeah, some huge God's eyes. Which, the evil eye is really big in business right now, Dottie. You might want to get onto that.
Yeah, it is.
That might be a subject for the next video after I finally get this runaway train on the track.
That's okay. We'll get it on track. I still think you should do a series. The psychic said what?
You know what? That might be my short videos, because the high-end production ones can take me up to 3 months if I'm not like actively killing myself. Like some of the ones I do where I'm actually like the Tessiomancy one where I'm actually trying to figure out how to get the picture on the screen to do a thing.
Yeah. Well, please don't kill yourself. I'm running out of cats.
We are.
Yeah.
Like right now, your choices are Anna or Ollie. And like there are some major drawbacks in either direction.
I don't know what to say.
Furthermore, you just came back from New Orleans.
Yeah, I still have to get all the data like in the right place. I don't know if that video is going to come out because that one's been a pain in my ass.
Well, ship it over to me. I'll fuck with it.
I may have to do that. Actually, that one's going to be interesting. There's going to be a lot of little short clips because somehow I went on this trip in Mercury retrograde. And if you want to know why that's a bad idea, you can watch my video on Mercury retrograde because that was a mistake.
Do you want to know why that's a bad idea? Really? Hello?
Well, and it wasn't just Mercury in retrograde, though. It was like 2/3 of the solar system was retrograded.
It was like, you're doing what?
Don't go on vacation when Mercury's on vacation.
Mercury, Saturn was in a mood. Everything, I'm looking at the chart going, Dottie, you must, plan for every occasion, including Aeson having to come rescue your ass.
Look, I was planning on meeting Jesus at this point. That was the 3rd time I had scheduled that trip. I'm like, okay.
I know. Yep.
I had a major family event, and then a hurricane hit, and this was like the 3rd time around. So it was not the trip I had originally planned at that point.
No. Now you take appointments and private bookings, and you're on Keen. So, Dottie the Psychic's everywhere. Go to her channel, hit any description, and it'll have a link to her site. She does take private appointments and everything else. Thanks for stopping in for a cup of coffee, darling. Look forward to working with you, Coffee, when we talk coffee and tea. Bye, hon.
Bye.
Bye, Dottie.
All right. Yeah. So we have another lady in here now. She's the other one that takes in the co-host seat when Joe has to be away. She's an amazing priestess, a wonderful healer, a kick-ass reader. Lady Gwendolyn, who's also a barista. Hey, baby girl.
Hi.
How are you?
Good. Doing good.
Yeah.
So it's nice to meet you. Hi.
Yeah. But no, Lady Gwendolyn fills in when we need her to. What has been up with you, darling? Because you've not been called in.
I have been doing events once a month at a local shop called Appalachian Oddities. We started that event. It's called Celestial Saturday. It's on the second Saturday of every month, and we've got some things coming up in the spring. On the priestess side, we're working on trying to plan a Yule event. I got 2 new priestesses this year, so they're taking charge of that. I get to kind of step back and work on my healing and my readings now. So really excited.
Yeah.
Oh, rock on.
Rock on. And you're a TikToker. You're actually the only TikToker in our little network that can go live.
Yes, I am. I do a little 3-card reading. What I do is when people comment, I usually pick out one person from each video and do a free 3-card reading for them. And I have over roughly about 2,500 followers on TikTok right now. But it's growing. It's even growing whenever I'm not making any content, because I've kind of backed off a little bit here recently, but they're really excited to see me back. So we're going for it. This week is going to be a skyrocketing week. So I'm excited.
Yeah, well, of course, and energy-wise, it's a skyrocketing time because we just had the lunar eclipse.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So what do you think of your 2 fill-ins, Rainey?
I am absolutely thrilled. I'm excited. I'm energized. It makes me miss you guys so much. I mean, not that I didn't miss you, but it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah. The network has grown a good bit.
Well, what's wonderful is seeing, so many people come in and getting involved, and we all have this opportunity to go out there and help people.
Mm-hmm.
Because really, that is what we're doing. We're helping people, all of us in our own different way. And there's so many people out there who need that, and that is always inspiring to me. And right now, I think so many people really need that in their lives. And, they need to know, hey, you know what? It's tough. It might be tough a little bit longer, but we're going to be okay. We need to know that. And people need to know that. Right. And they need to know that we can come together and, this is one source. Mm-hmm. I'm excited. I love seeing all the changes. I think this is great.
This is much different than hanging onto the phone.
Hanging on to the phone. Sometimes it would get disconnected.
All back in. Have to reload.
Remember the one time when I was on the phone and I was in the bathroom and we could hear thunder?
Oh, no. We were broadcasting through
and I had to go hide in the back bathroom, and you could still hear boom, boom, boom.
Oh, gosh.
What was that?
What was it? It was the derecho coming through Denver. The storm that became the derecho here in West Virginia. It came through Denver. We were live on air.
Yes.
We stuck her in the bathroom because they had like wind advisories and all that.
Oh, yeah.
And I'm like, Randy, we're in the middle of an hour-long show.
Wow.
Yeah.
And I'm like going, okay, I got to be calm. I got to fake it till I'm naked, honey. Because I wasn't sure what was coming through the windows at that point.
Yeah.
Literally. One of these trees is going to come through the windows. I mean, it was rock and roll.
It was.
I have a question for Rainey, though. Have you taken or maybe did you ever store the number for Blog Talk in your phone? And is it still in there? I just recently deleted that because I was like, yep, never going to need that again.
You know what? I bet it is, because I usually don't delete things. You know, if you want me to, I could check.
I was curious because I ran across it and I was like, you have got to be kidding me. Like, we've been off of Blog Talk forever now. And I was just scrolling through and I was like, seriously? It's still here.
I would bet it's still on mine. And, you know, I remember so many times Aeson's like, I can't take this anymore.
Yeah, I don't know how many times I bitched them out. And they go, oh, you need another package. You need another package. And we'd upgrade and we'd upgrade. And we got promised an upgrade. And I'm like,
then we'd have shows scheduled and they wouldn't have us scheduled.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
It was
fun. You know, it was fun. Or they'd go and they'd change the chat room. Remember when we had text chat like we got over here? And I'm going to ask Rainey, are we taking questions tonight?
It's up to you if you want to. I'm open.
Sure. Yeah, me and you'll do it and let them, we got a new format for that since now we have co-hosts that don't read. We don't have to read the question out. Now, we do need your name and birthday, but we will take questions tonight. But I wanted to get to get some real down-home coffee going on here. Non-political. Here's the rule. Non-political. Randy, what's been your top story this year?
What is the what?
What has been your top story this year? Your hot story this year that's non-political.
My hot story this year that's not political. Are you talking about personal or with my client?
News and events.
I'm not really watching news and events, if you want the truth.
Right.
I haven't been either.
I'm not helping,
I get my news from
sure.
them.
I'm going, okay, I'm not really watching, so I don't know.
Well, you know, this is our
well, you know,
season.
I have to be honest, I was watching, you know, the incident that happened today in Wisconsin. You know, I was a little bit concerned about that. I don't know if that would be considered political. I wouldn't consider it political.
That is political. That is that's not political. That isn't the presidency. That isn't how they're handling Corona. That isn't the orange stupid. That's none of that.
They don't even have any kind of idea. Well, maybe they have an idea, but they haven't told us yet. Okay, you know, why this happened or anything. But, you know, it's very sad. You know, you have this whole town, like many people, who are going out there and they're getting to enjoy something that many of us did not get to enjoy last year, like parades. And, you know, there were so many things that we had to give up. And they're out there with their kids. And it reminded me of when my kids were kids and I was a kid, and we would go watch the parade in a small town and everybody would show up. And then this car comes in and runs them over. And, of course, you know, my heart goes out for the parents. You know, there's children in there. You know, they have some losses. They haven't said the number of losses. Last I heard, they had taken 23 people to the hospital, including, I think, 12 or 15 children. Like I said, I don't really pay too much attention to the news, but I happened to be flipping through the channels and I went, whoa, what's this?
Right. Well, this is something, mine, I'll give you mine. We talked about this
1 second. I'm going to make it a little crowded because Dottie looked a bit excited there.
Yeah. Okay. Welcome back to Dottie. Yeah.
Hi, Dottie.
All right, so mine was, and I remember me and you talking about Britney Spears and
Oh,
her going
yes.
through a breakdown and
Right.
her attacking the paparazzi and shaving her head. And you
Yes.
were like, it'll grow back. My big story this year has been her getting released from that conservatorship. Now,
Yes.
guys, we're celebrating our anniversary. That happened the same year. The
Right.
conservatorship started the same year that we started the radio show.
Right. I had
Wow.
forgotten about that. And I have paid a little bit of attention to that too. I'm not really watching so much on TV as I am
Thank you.
looking elsewhere.
Right.
That's wild.
Yeah.
You think about somebody who is that famous and people having that much control, and you have to ask yourself, well, maybe it's no wonder she's shaving her head, you know?
Exactly. How much gaslighting were they doing to get her to that state? I'm waiting for the real story to come out.
I'd just like them to talk about all the social pressure she got from the outside. I mean, people were taking
Right.
pictures of this woman in her own backyard.
Right.
And not just, it was not like just some little Instagram post nowadays. This was back when, you know, there was only one source that of Hollywood News, and they would put pictures of her when
Right.
nobody thinks they're going to be photographed.
Right.
All right.
Exactly. Yeah. You know, and I don't think that we perhaps had the insight maybe we do now, having more information and certainly with more information to come. But I think back then you're kind of going, whoa, she might be a little crazy, you know, because we've all over the decades, you know, seen famous people, you know, have drug and alcohol problems, have to go into rehab and all that. And Britney Spears just kind of disappeared on the face of the earth here for a while, for a few years. And all of a sudden, free Britney.
All right.
Yeah.
Go for it.
There is more behind that story. I guarantee it.
Mm-hmm.
Well, everybody sees the explosion. They never see behind the scenes.
Well, and
why
I
the
think it'll
explosions
come out. They staged that pushed her into that explosion.
I remember actually watching, because this is something because it happened to 3 different artists like all at once.
Right.
It was her, Christina Aguilera, and I think that later, and not maybe just differently, was Katy Perry. But they would take these like young singers and just catapult them in front of the stage. And honestly, I remember thinking some of the stuff that they had said Britney Spears had done that kind of built this, whatever that conservatorship was, whatever they had built that on, they were trying to make her, they were not just gaslighting her personally, but like publicly.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Like the whole wig thing. You remember she shaved her head.
Yes.
I shaved my head too. But I don't, you know, all she did was she shaved her head. I mean, if she's wearing wigs every single day, it makes sense. But they took something that very well may have been mundane and blew it completely out of proportion.
Right.
Well, you know, Dottie, you wear wigs very often in your videos. Your videos are 8 to 15 minutes. So that tells me you're shooting for 4 to 6 hours. How hot's that head?
It's hot. I mean, okay, so to get your hair flat with the wig, first you have to get a wig sock, which I don't have one easy to grab because I wish I did. I would show you guys. You pull the thing all the way over your head. Some of them you pull all the way over your head. Some of the caps you have to bind up your hair before you put it on, but you have to try and make your hair as flat as possible. So if her hair's down to like here, that gets to be a lot to try and get all worked together. Like you can use the nets that your hair actually comes out of and pull them around a certain way, but you're trying to get that thing as flat as possible. And it is a layer of your hair, it's the layer of the net, and then you're wearing basically, you know, I'm sure Britney Spears is wearing a much higher quality wig than mine, but you're still putting on a hat to beat the gods on top of that.
Right.
Yeah.
I can't blame her. I mean, I literally, if I'm going to be doing a lot of shooting, I make sure I trim up the mohawk. I'm actually thinking about getting my hair cut back short because of the wig.
Right. Furthermore, and that's and she was doing 3 shows a night.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
So each show is an hour and a half. Plus you have rehearsal. Plus she's got hair and makeup. So she's in hair and makeup 2 hours each show. I'd shave my head. Drag queens shave their heads all the time.
Yeah.
Because they are in wigs so much.
Yeah, get that wig down, girl. Go. I mean, honest to God, like, yeah, every woman goes through a phase where they're feeling screwed up in the head and they cut their hair.
Mm-hmm.
We've all seen it happen. Girl, I see you waving.
Uh-huh.
But I mean, think about it. It's our main. So when we get stressed, that's how I ended up with Mohawk. It was part of my divorce settlement. I got better hair.
So, well, Joe, what's been your news story of the year?
I was having to look back and kind of think through it, and as trying to go apolitical as I can, that makes it hard.
Non-political.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Non-political, apolitical. I'm just sitting here and I'm going like, oh, everyone I want to scream out is kind of political. So I got to go with like the passing of Jeannie Robertson. That was just so flippin'. Like, talk about the downer for 2021. That was the one. Mm-hmm. That's just the like, oh man, like she was, for anyone not familiar, she was a former Miss North Carolina many decades ago, who turned motivational speaker. She was 6'4", if I remember correctly. Mm-hmm. So she's a very tall woman, and she was a big fan of like find the humor in everything. Like no matter how crappy, screwed up it is, find the humor, keep laughing. Mm-hmm. Like, keep moving, keep going, just like really bright, wonderful light in the world. That was the one that was like, really, 2021, that's what you had to do? Like, that's the one non-political story. The only one I can sit here and be like, that's not political. There's nothing political about her. Yeah. Like, yeah, but that was still, to me, for non-political, the worst.
And she was one of the clean comics.
Yeah.
All right, Miss Lady Gwendolyn, what's your co-host story of the year?
Honestly, the only time that I ever hear any news is whenever I tune in to Mountain Bears. Uh-huh. And so it's been very rough waters over on Mountain Bears this year.
Yes.
I know. Aren't you struggling too with okay, we have to figure out one that's not political. Oh,
yes.
Yes. Okay. Let me maybe re-clarify. Non-political meaning we are not talking about we are not talking about the Oompa Loompa purple orange potato. We are not talking about President Biden, Vice President Claire, none of the Democrats, none of the Republicans in office, but anything else can be talked about.
Oh, that I have to immediately pop back and say the HIV slash, more importantly, the needle exchange issue in Charleston, West Virginia. That blows my mind every single time that our state has completely effed up needle exchange.
Yep.
And we are not only in an HIV epidemic from shared needles, but we have fucked up needle exchange. My brain explodes every time. Like, I just cannot get past that one.
Right.
Slightly political, but it's the greater issue.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Mm-hmm.
Well, we'll give that to you. I would say we could get around that on that not being real political.
Mm-hmm.
No, because it's a medical thing.
I got one.
Yeah. Go for it.
Elvira is gay.
Yeah.
Is she really?
Yeah.
Yes.
She's been in
Long-term
a
husband
partnership.
relationship. My roommate came screaming in the house. Guess what? Guess what? Guess what? Elvira, she gay. There was dancing in the streets in this house.
Well, but here's the thing. Come on. Like
I didn't
that.
know.
I know, but at the same
I didn't
time,
either.
she never brought a man out. She never, she has been Elvira since what, the 60s?
Something like that.
That
She
far back?
just celebrated her 40th year. She just did a special, like her 40th
Right.
anniversary or something.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, she's been around.
That's not bad. That only puts it back to the 80s, okay? I'm dating this, okay?
Life goals.
Do you know?
About that. Look, life goals. If I can be as hot as she is, and the girls are still where she left them.
That's right.
But it gets better. Do you realize that the actress's name is Cassandra Gay Peterson?
I didn't remember her middle name. No.
Sorry, that just hits me on so many. Like, it was right there the whole time.
That was news to me. Okay, I know my naive self.
No, that is actually important news, because that shows how long it has taken her to get comfortable and not think that her career would be over, or that she would care if they knew her sexuality.
Okay, so honey, thing we should have realized on that 40-year thing. 40 years ago was not the 1960s.
That's
it
what
wasn't
I
even
said.
the 1970s.
Okay.
Right.
That was 1981.
That's what I said. That was the 80s.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like,
I'm dating that.
Yeah, you're dating that.
Slowly but surely getting old.
Like, chest pain. Like my angina is acting up.
But think about it. Time froze for her. I mean,
Yeah.
she literally looks like time is froze.
Yeah.
Right.
That is the power of drag, my dear, and that is why I am studying.
That's the power of duct tape. What
That
you
is the
talking
power.
You know
about?
what? That is just a single tool in the arsenal of the true drag queen.
I know, but you can do a lot with that one.
Uh-huh.
Like, it is the multi-tool.
Oh my
Yep.
God, I tell you what, like back in the day, like when we would travel, we'd keep duct tape and paper towels in case we cut ourselves, because the duct tape stayed better than a Band-Aid.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yep.
Well, it reminds me, earlier this evening, I was looking in the mirror and I went, that's right. Aeson said Bengay.
Not anymore. They changed the formula, honey.
Oh, they did.
Yeah, they changed the
That's
formula.
lovely.
And it's preparation H, but no, they changed the formula. I'll get you the name of the cream I'm using now. It's lovely.
Awesome.
Yeah. I'll see if my assistant's available to fetch it. I'll share some beauty tips.
Okay.
So, Gwen, what's your news story? And yeah, you get them from here. That doesn't mean that you can't. What has been your shocker for the year, or the one that you'll tell your grandbabies?
I don't really have anything, because my mind hasn't been focused on the news.
Yeah.
It's been focused on pagan and psychic events.
Okay,
So,
well, again, pagan and psychic events, there's been a lot of news there.
Well, being able to have things and not have things, and we did have a successful event and this year, and looking forward to next year. We have a pretty big name author coming into West Virginia. Amy Blackthorne is coming, and so we're really excited about that. We have a new date.
Witch Fox.
Oh yeah. And you know what? Okay, so Witch Fox shut down, but we need it now more than ever.
Right.
Because there are still so many people out there that are, reaching out in various groups, I've noticed, looking for people. and they're not able to connect with others in their area because they don't have nowhere to look.
Right. Well, that gave birth to an idea that you inspired. You bringing in Byron Ballard set off the creation of the Pagan Nexus, which is now, Mountaineer Pagan Nexus. And we'll happily build the Ohio Pagan Nexus and any other Nexus we need to do. We just need people to run it. I am not adminning another site. We were at 10. We were counting them last night. We were at 10 admin sites. It's like, I can't keep up.
For him. For him. Just for him. Like, we're going through my poor little web hosting reseller account going, honey, you have 10 sites. Because he was trying to figure out why I was saying that we were going to have to, or thinking about needing to do something with my hosting plan, basically split it and move some of the sites over. And I said, no. The easiest thing for me to do is move you.
Yeah.
So my question,
versus
Aeson,
every other client.
Are you thinking about cutting back on anything?
I am.
Okay.
I have. I am cutting back a lot of things. 2020 taught me a lot of what I do not need in my life. And you guys have seen me cut back, pull back. I am now, it's going to cost people to get me out of this house.
I feel you there.
I am not doing events for free. I am not doing it for exposure. I've been exposed enough. Okay. I've been exposed enough. I've had enough exposure. I am not going back on the road 50 weekends a year. That ain't happening. My luggage is so worn out, honey. It got stamped all the way from Canada all the way down to almost Mexico. We're done with that. The steamer trunks can go in the attic. We don't need to have them ready to go if I need to go across the sea.
Doing that shit from home. That is psychic retirement there.
Thank you.
But
I've also learned. Yeah.
Well, and that brings a point of showing how much of a baby psychic I am, because I'm just now getting out there and doing things. So this is my time for exposure and
right. But you're not driving 3 hours.
No.
I'm about to drive to Moundsville from St. Albans.
Really?
Yeah, December 4th. I'm building up my stock so I have something on the table.
Right. But that's 4 hours up. That is food. That is hotel. Get a good hotel. Do not try to drive back home. If you need recommendations, I'll give them to you because I have them. But Rainey can tell you, we used to be on the road all the time. That was one of the benefits of Blog Talk, is we could broadcast from anywhere. And as she said, we have broadcasted from bathrooms, inside the car when you drove up to Mount Shasta. You were sitting in the car for the night on the phone with me, and we're like, you're getting cracky, Rainey, and she would drive down to the next parking lot.
Yeah. One time I was actually buying a car. I was literally in the car dealership, and I said, excuse me, but if you don't have this done by this time, you need to give me a room because I've got a radio show to do. And the guy looked at me like I was crazy, and he put me in this room in a car dealership, and we did the show.
Yeah. I've broadcasted from the back of a store, every store I've ever worked in. I have done a show in their break room or my office. I've broadcasted from the I-77 before. We pioneered remote working.
So speaking of that, how both of you, since you've been through this the whole time, how do you feel about how much progress things have changed? That you don't have to do it the hard way anymore. like technology wise?
Lord, I don't know. Okay. So I just celebrated my 15th year on Keen this month. I have a thing about November, and starting things in November. And I remember the day I got the welcome to Keen email,
Mhm.
and here's a list of what you need to do this business. You need a dedicated phone line. You need a
Uh-huh.
dedicated computer. You need
Yes.
to, okay, it cannot have voicemail. It cannot have an answering machine hooked to the line. It cannot have call waiting. You have to have a 28 kbi internet connection. So literally that day I left work. I got out of work at 3 o'clock. I drove to Goodwill, bought a computer for $25, a desk for $50, and an office chair for $25, a keyboard for like $5, $10, $15. Drove for about $150 when I was done. Drove home and set up another office space in my basement because at the time I had my normal desk, my desk for Psychic Power Network, my desk for, because you could not run multiple networks on the same computer. The computer couldn't handle the data.
Right. Right.
Wow.
Well, I mean, I think I got started a little bit because you really helped me set up a lot of stuff because
Mm-hmm.
okay, I'm maybe not very techy, okay?
You're medium. You're never
Yeah.
techie.
Whatever.
No, you're a medium. You're never techie. A medium energy is never
Yeah,
techie.
it just doesn't mix, okay?
Right.
That's why I went on the show last night. We didn't have a show last night, in case you haven't gathered. Okay, that's just me.
She didn't know about it. Yeah, me and Rainey was going to have her own show. She just needed a logging.
I was ready to rock and roll, baby.
Uh-huh.
She did a dry run. She did a dry run.
Exactly.
No, I was sitting here ready to go,
Uh-huh.
fluffing my hair,
But
doing whatever I
you
do.
guys got to remember, you can't, like, okay, so that is when I started keying. Before then, the other networks I named, you dialed in your access code,
Right.
put in your PIN,
Right.
and I got real techie to have my own computer so I could sit there and take down the name of the client, the time
Right.
of the call,
Right.
everything. Rainey came in. She was doing a network at that time. She had to write down the name of the. When we met each other, I swear this woman still had a closet full of notebooks. Full.
Yes. As a matter of fact, it was just this last year I found another bunch and I went, well, I guess I better throw these away. Boom, boom, boom. Yeah, you were absolutely right. And me not being very techy and you coming along, and he just had to get me organized because I was like, we're talking tablets.
Buying notebooks.
Even on the computer. He said, okay, here's the deal. You got to go get a new computer. You got to get this. Of course, it wasn't $150 at the time.
No.
And he took over my computer and he set everything up. And we had all the networks set across the computer.
Mm-hmm.
People would come over and go, why do you have all these open? I have to have them all open. Don't you understand? No, they didn't understand. But in order not to miss everybody, I had to have them all open so I could go over here and check. Yeah, I even had to have Aeson on there.
Yeah, I was on there. I had my own access. You guys have seen, Gwen, I know I work remote. Joe's work remote for you. I had that on Rainey's computer. I could sit in here at 3 o'clock in the morning because the days of Rainey having a problem, I had to connect to her computer to fix her problem in her database. Not a lot, but I had remote access to 3 o'clock in the morning. Rainey, would call me and go, I can't get this work. Okay, sit down and sit on your hands. I'll take care of it.
I'll never forget the first time he said, astroplaned into your house today.
You need to clean your mirrors.
That's exactly what he said. Yes.
And that monitor is a little dirty. Can you dust my camera off? Thank you.
Yeah. I mean, it was like a wild ride for me. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
Because
It's been a wild ride.
I really had a good gig, at least from
Mm-hmm.
what I understood when I was working for that quote unquote other company. And I will say, yes, there are some negative things. What did you used to call that type of work?
I
Slave
call
life.
that network a slave net. How much were you
Something
making
like
per
that.
minute, Rainey?
Yeah, something like that. And anyway, I thought it was a great gig because it really, I mean, although I started off with something a little smaller, I went to this one. I worked my butt off there. I mean, I was working just, I was literally being a slave there for nothing. But I got so many skills because when you had to work on that level, I mean, you are tuned in. Boom, boom, boom. And Aeson for years would go, please, for God's sake, get off of there. Get off of there. Oh, no. Well, we finally got off of there. Thank you, God. Okay, we got off of there.
Rainey.
You know,
Rainey.
what?
Tell the children what you started out making on that network.
What did I start off? Well, are you talking about per minute? Or are you talking about per week?
Talk minute. Talk minute.
It was what they would pay me, not what they would charge. They would pay me 20 cents a minute.
20 cents, people.
I think I worked for that line.
You did. You did.
20 cents a minute, and they were charging my clients $6.99, $8.99 a minute. They went up to $10.99, $12.99.
Mm-hmm. Did your pay go up when they went up?
Huh?
Did your pay go up when they went up?
No. In fact, I absolutely fought with them about raising my prices. I said, don't do that to my clients. Don't do that to my clients. So I went private. I charge way less, and I make way more money, and I don't have to work nearly as hard.
Right.
Hello.
And you're getting paid what your client pays you.
Getting paid what my client pays me. Absolutely. Yeah. And not all clients came from there, but a large amount. It's followed me.
Yeah, they will. They'll follow you around.
You know, and yeah.
But some of the stuff that people get so bent out of shape with nowadays, like the app. One of our Keen finally got the advisor an app.
Right.
Oh my God. I love it. It doesn't work all the time, but by golly, I don't have to call. I don't get a call from Keen at 3:00 in the morning. We need you on the network now.
Oh, I would get that.
An hour ago.
I would get that with the other company. Keen never did that to me. The other company
Keen does not do that. Never done that. But the other company, don't care if you've been awake and working for them and getting your 1,800 minutes, talk minutes in to get a paycheck.
Right.
To get a paycheck.
Wow.
To get a paycheck.
If they didn't have enough advisors on, you got called.
I got a lot of skills out there. I got finely tuned, but I mean, so I can't say that was bad, but you know, once you get those skills, move on. Move on. Right. Because I can give better to my clients now privately than I ever could on there. Because they record your calls in case anybody doesn't know it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I kind of figured.
You know, and your client wants to be one-on-one with you. They want that with you. And that's what they should have.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
They don't want to talk to their family. They want to talk to you.
Well, it's their therapy sometimes. That's all that they have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, their therapy, they want answers from you that maybe others can't see. You know, we're the outside person. You know, I had a client.
I actually started an outline for a video about why people go to psychics instead of psychiatrists or psychologists. I haven't gone anywhere with it. It's one of those that has been set into the plethora of potential videos, but you know, it's a different kind of fear. And a lot of times I know I spend probably a quarter at least of these calls are women asking if it's okay to leave their abusive boyfriends.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
You know, I've had a lot of people say, I quit going to my counselor and I go to you. Not because I'm not advocating somebody don't go to counseling if they feel like they need to go to counseling. I absolutely advocate for that. But one of the repeating things that they say that they get is they don't have somebody sitting there going, okay, now make a list of your pros and cons, you know, your issues that are bothering you. I mean, Aeson and I both will give people homework. Okay, we got the suitcase list. Remember Aeson?
Mm-hmm.
I still use the
suitcase
list. Yeah.
I still use the suitcase list. I still use the Power of Now list of what can you do right now. Here's the situation. I'll take one that I know someone's struggling with in this panel. Dottie and her schedule. What can you do right now? Give me 5 things you can do right now.
I can actually, I've got them all listed on Habetica. I would have to check my phone because ADD does not retain what I'm supposed to do. So I end up in a panic.
No. I know you do, but not what I'm saying. Dottie and her work schedule. Dottie and her ADAD. What can you do? 5 things right now, quickly.
Work on a script for about scammers. Get my prediction video out.
I
need to pay my taxes on my business. How many is that up to? I'm up to 3.
That's 3.
I've always got Keen on.
Keen.
Watch my Facebook for comments and conversations.
Right. That's how to work on your business in 5 things. 5 things to help your ADHD.
Setting a regular sleep schedule and sticking to it. Stopping smoking.
We'll debate that one.
I knew you were going to say something like that, Aeson. I knew it.
How about increasing your caffeine intake? Your ADHD, a coping mechanism is coffee. The best thing you can do for someone with ADHD is feed them 2 cups of coffee in the morning.
Every 4 hours. Drink 2 cups of coffee. Like I'll drink. I've got my cup of coffee from this morning sitting there cold as ice.
Okay, someone grab a Christmas list. Dottie needs a cup warmer.
There you go.
I just drink it all day long, all night. Yeah, let's keep it going.
Exactly.
Yeah.
But journaling, writing out your daily plan, setting an alarm on the Paladuna on your phone. I introduced this to Joe when he was studying. There's an app that we can get for your phone since you aren't Alexa enabled, and you just set it, and it gives you that 15 minutes. You're going to focus on this project, and then you're going to get up and do something for 5.
The Pomodoro. I've got a timer on my phone that I've used for that. That's a Pomodoro actually, because I have studied a lot. My thing is like the crossover between mental health and the psychic world, because I'm not a psychologist by any means, but I have had my run-ins with the psychiatric world. And it's all about that's my thing, is to try and destigmatize neurodivergency
and we talk about that. You know, I'm dyslexic. I would guarantee Rainey is ADHD adult. You're ADHD. Lady Gwendolyn is Trauma City.
I'm bipolar.
Joe has, anxiety, possibly ADHD.
Hey!
You gotta be crazy to do this job. Like, you gotta be crazy to do this job.
Yeah.
Well, you stay in 2 different worlds.
It is. It really is. And there's such a stark separation, especially, the psychiatric world is a science. So you don't really hear about the pseudoscience. They might tell you to do yoga or they'll teach you a lot of techniques that are basically, and they call them grounding.
Right.
And so it's interesting to see the crossover between psychology definition of grounding and our definition of grounding. And what the effect is, the effect is a lot of the same, except that they use things that are more tangible.
Mm-hmm. They use real stuff. But, psychology started with psi. That means it came from us department first.
Right. Right.
Well, I had a therapist tell me one time that those with, I'm not going to say issues, but abilities are more inclined to be more attuned in psychic. So he never looked at it as any type of disability. He viewed it as psychic abilities.
Right. Right.
Ways to look at things differently.
Right.
That's a good way to put it. You know what? That is a good way to put it, because I think I do view the world. I only have my perspective for which to look from, but I do realize sometimes that my thought patterns are not the same as other people's. Like,
Right. Right.
Okay.
Right.
So I'm going to go ahead and take this question.
I agree with you on that. And
okay.
I'm going to bring up an example here, if it's okay.
Mm-hmm.
I was talking to somebody, and they said, how is it that you are always so right on the money? And mind you, I have had this particular client for about 10 years now. And they said, how is it that you are so sharp and in tune to the energy of this particular person that we quite often talk about? And they said they really didn't understand it. And so, well, first of all of us can come in and connect with energy. Sometimes there's people we can't. There's some people, I'm sorry, I try. I'll just tell people, I'm sorry, I cannot connect with this person. But
I've done that a couple times and switched my divination tactics, and that sometimes works. Like changing the deck, or I'll shift from a crystal ball to a palm, or those are in person, but you know what I mean. Like
usually I can do it, but one of the things that I tried to explain to this person, I think it's something that we all do in our own ways, is we connect to the energy. We connect to what's going on with that person, because the person who's calling us, whether it's a situation or another person, they're trying to figure out, what am I missing here? Why don't I understand what's going on here? Why don't I understand why this person is doing this? And at least for me, I feel like my job is to say, this is what I see about this person. This is where their mindset is. And you and I, Aeson, have done that a lot on the show, where we're talking to people to help them have an understanding of who it is that we're looking at here. Obviously, in this particular case, I'm talking about a relationship, with somebody that they have a relationship.
Say, yeah, you're supposed to be in here. We're having this is a live anniversary show.
Yeah. And so giving them that information, coming back to the psychology part, a psychologist can give you, and I do not have a problem with psychologists personally. I've gone to counselors. They've been very helpful. But what I think we have the opportunity to give them is that intuitive insight if they trust us. And we have to be trustworthy, and there are people out there who are not. We Aeson and I have talked about that in the past. Okay. Giving them that insight on that other person. This is what you're dealing with. Okay. This is what this person is maybe going through. This is their perspective, so that they know how to learn how to handle it and deal with things in a different way, instead of going, oh my God, I don't know why he isn't doing this. Well, this is what's going on.
Right.
And they always find out. I'm telling you, they always find out that what we're telling them is going on is what's going on, because the person eventually validates it.
Oh yeah. If they don't come right out and say it before you even get a chance to turn a card.
Yeah.
True.
I'm like, okay, I'm going to shuffle. And they just start. I'm like, well, I'm going to go ahead and turn these cards so we got some idea of what to say here. But honestly, you just told me everything. And just as another human being, just as somebody else who's living and breathing on this mud ball with you, I'd say that you probably need to do this, this, and this.
Right.
Yeah.
And most of the, but here's the thing, that you using your psychic ability, learning to say, oh, this and this is going on. Well, A plus B, I feel C is going to happen. And by the way, you didn't look at ball Z over here that's getting ready to come and swing in and knock all these all over the place.
Right. Exactly.
But,
exactly.
We're getting a few questions here. I'm going to take the one reading we got, but I'm also going to read the comments too. Lisa, name now. Yeah, you're supposed to be in here. This is our anniversary show. This is all the hosts and co-hosts and past hosts conversating about the Psychic Coffee Shop.
All right, ready for that question?
Yeah, I'll take it.
All right. So just because I know enough to know who, so Kathy 72862, is Triz still coming this month? Is Peanut waiting for me in heaven?
All right, let me take a look here. I feel he is still headed your way. It should be here very soon. I'm going to say within the month. Now, Peanut being waiting for you in heaven. I'll be very bluntly honest. I feel that Peanut is in heaven, waiting for you, sitting there, waiting at the door. No, he's playing with the other puppies. He's having fun. He'll be waiting for you when you get there.
Okay, I see this one up here. Lisa,
let Joe read it.
Huh?
Let Joe read it, and then you can respond to it.
Okay.
Alrighty, so that's the most recent one from Lisa?
Yeah, the yes.
Yes, would love to know how to distinguish between real psychic as opposed to scammers.
Number one, a real psychic is not going to reach out to you. Number two, yes, we might be able to pick up on a lot of personal information, but if you ask us for a random specific thing, the only reason somebody would know that is if they already knew you. Like, I'm not going to be able to tell your mother's maiden name and your birth, the place you were born.
Mm-hmm.
Nor do we care.
Nor do we care. And also, there's a certain level of professionalism. Like, we're not here to pick your pockets. We're not going to slowly indoctrinate you into a cult. Some of it is just learning to know the person, because you have to be able to kind of get in tune with your psychic.
Mm-hmm.
So
and Google them.
Yeah, you can Google them. You can find out. Also, if somebody can't get their life together, they're not going to be able to help you get yours together. I say that from my buddy's room, but
Well, I got a question for you, since we'll touch this, but I got a question for you. Would covering with the thing that I blew my top at mess your video up?
No, absolutely not. Actually, I included a little bit about that story because it kicked the whole situation off, but the whole point of the whole point of my video is not to pick out one scammer. It's to look at the whole thing. Like,
Yeah.
I touch on cults. I touch on the televangelists. I'm like, let's really, that's part of why it blew up on me. It was going to be just, watch out for this and that and this and that. But then, like, I started to do the research. I started to really look into it. And then I got a call about my extended warranty.
And have you got the one from the Illuminati yet? Because I got that one on TikTok.
Okay, well,
no, I haven't got the TikTok Illuminati yet. I have not. I have gotten a couple of trolls. I gotten a few trolls, but nothing like. What I got is the link to Dr. George or something, who does all this amazing bullshit, and his link is in my comment section, and it happens so often that YouTube will just automatically block that.
Yeah. Okay, so I'm gonna take a poll of the professional readers on this panel. I want to know your most expensive item in your service. I've got the unlimited Visa here. What's the golden ticket item in your service, Dottie?
House cleansing, because I gotta drive to your house and parties are house cleansings. They're I think.
How much are they? Give me a price.
I'm trying to remember. Like, I don't have my list in front of me, but I think it's
I do. It's $150.
Okay, so I was gonna say 125. So I'm glad you said instead of it. So $150 to go to your house and really read the energy. if you've got a real possession, I probably would keep coming back for free, because like that's not something that is normal. But most of the time, you just need like a house cleansing and something like that, and that's a one-time go. Like, I'll show you how to do it yourself after I leave. Like, okay, I'm gonna do it this once. You're gonna follow me. We'll do it together. And when every other month or so, when the moon is full, go and do these things. And
Right. All right.
So break it down. What's the cost though? What's the parts of the cost?
Okay.
So you have travel time.
Okay. If you're over a certain distance, I charge more for travel.
Right. But I don't care. $150, I'm out the door. Your highest ticket item.
Right.
And that's you doing like 4 hours of work. Let's just
something like that. I mean, it depends on how long. If you've got a bigger house, it's obviously going to take a little longer, but that is with the expectation that I'm going to be spending at least an hour and a half to 2 hours going through, talking to the spirits in the house, trying to help you communicate with the spirits of your house, trying to suss out where the problem is. Like if it's around a certain person, or there's one spirit, more often not, it's just like a pissed off neighbor situation. You just got to so you have to make friends with the spirits in your house. So I kind of facilitate that, going through, sealing the doors. If we got to do something, like if you've got the evil eye on you, we would, I would show you how to do the mirrors, things like that. So it would be whatever the situation required. I am not selling you an individual. With that point, I'm not selling you an individual service. I'm selling you my time to help you figure out what to do.
Right. So 4 hours, $150. Lady Gwendolyn, what's your most expensive thing?
Weddings.
Okay, how much is a wedding?
$150, depending, and then I think it's after like 20 miles, it's so much extra. But that's for I usually charge, to break that down hourly, that's about 4 hours, but it always ends up being more than that because I'm usually there on site for 4 hours. That's not counting the time that I spend with the couple beforehand doing counseling and discussing their relationship, because I will not marry a couple unless I feel their love and their commitment to each other. I'm a bit particular. I won't just marry any couple. And also, I make sure that the ceremony is catered specifically to them and is as personalized as I can get it. Because everybody, no matter how extravagant or basic their wedding is, they deserve to have the wedding of their dreams. So that's mine. It's not even a psychic thing. It's a mundane thing.
Psychic thing.
Okay, so that would be my shadow working. That is a tarot reading, and that is the access bars, and that is the Reiki healing total package, to make sure that once you've left me, you feel a whole lot better about yourself and your body feels cleansed.
Okay, and how much is that?
80.
80. Okay. Randy, what's your most expensive reading?
It would be my past life regression sessions. That's $100 an hour. It takes anywhere between an hour to an hour and a half to go through that process with a client.
Right. So
do you do them,
to 200. Yeah.
Do you do them remotely is what I was going to ask.
I've done them in person. I've done them remotely. I do both.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay. My largest thing, right, in general, is my astrology charts, and you get a book about your astrology, and I think that's $100 flat shipped to you. Okay. So I blew my top when I had a client come to me, and she was reading with another person, and she said, "I came to you because I'm out of cash and your prices are lower." I said, "Okay, big deal. We know Aeson has always kept his prices and will always keep his prices low for his clients. Okay, we joke about Aeson having diamonds and cars, but that's after a lot of clients. And she says, yeah, I just couldn't afford it anymore. I said, afford a reading anymore? Honey, how much you been paying? She says, well, I bought a rock that is supposed to bring good fortune to me. And I'm like, okay, bought a rock. Okay, well, how much did you pay for that rock? And I'm not going to tell you the price, but I want... Rainy, have you gotten into crystals yet, or are you still not into crystals?
I've used crystals, yes, but it does come back, remind me of many conversations we had with our listeners about these type.
It's getting there. Who's been... Dottie, when's the last time you bought a crystal?
Actually, I think I bought one. I don't know. I don't buy a lot of crystals now because I lose them. My friend gave me... Oh, no, I did. I got a $26 amethyst sphere. I've been using it for crystal ball readings because it's so much smaller. And
how much? $26.
$26.
Okay. Gwen, what was the last crystal you bought? How much? I want the price. I don't want the story. We know the story. Give me the price.
$24.
Okay. How much do you think she got for this good fortune holy stone? How much? Give me a price. What do y'all think my client paid for?
Okay, wait. Before we ask this question, I just want to know, this rock, was it like a rock from the driveway, or was an actual some sort of nice crystal?
This was a rock, honey.
It was a rock.
Yeah. I stand by 200.
Oh, honey, you're in the wrong district. Come on up to Saks Fifth Avenue, honey.
Okay, so I know the one I heard about. I think you said something.
I told you.
Yeah,
our listeners haven't heard this. $9,000 for a rock from your driveway, basically.
Wow, I was going to say $1,250, and I thought that was high.
Oh, honey, that was an aura cleansing.
Oh. Okay.
What did you do with that rock? Like, I mean, honest to God, I can think of something I would pay for $9,000, but it does not involve rocks.
It's supposed to be carried with her at all times.
Right.
I've heard stories about this case, and yes, I've reported this to the authorities.
Yes.
$4,000 for holy dirt from the Vatican. Vatican dirt.
Vatican dirt from her backyard.
Yeah.
These are scammers.
These are scammers. Back to what you were originally talking about. Scammers. Those type of people.
My first sight of this person is the reading that she has covered her area with signs, and it pisses me off. As soon as I saw them, it pissed me off. Tarot reading, $10.
Yeah, that's the end. Is $10 for a reading.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think the unifying theme that you'll always find with scammers is going to be some level of fear. Mm-hmm. Like they're going to utilize fear. They're going to play fear. Right. All of the scams, and like we've talked about this a fair bit on the show as well. Just because in my industry, I'm in IT, but that's what I run into over and over and over again is someone plays the fear card. Mm-hmm. And they force you to act faster than you can logically think.
Right.
There is a whole study, because I mean, you think about it, like I'm just doing like a very basic report on this, but there are people who spend their entire careers chasing down, studying these people. And it's not necessarily just fear. It's a sense, they want to create a sense of urgency. They want to create a sense of owing them something, or that the next big thing kind of thing. It's a buildup. Like it's more insidious than just fear, because you think about it, there are plenty of people who would not be susceptible to that. It's building trying to endear people with some sort of trust. Like now, these people will look they'll Facebook stalk these people to get
Mhm.
information about them and then
Mhm.
DM them with these fake accounts and try to, and they, of course they start off with some heavy hitting information because they snagged it from their Facebook.
Exactly. Now, I want to make some real things clear. The people on this screen don't do this. They do. If I find out anybody does it, including Rainey and Denver, would ever go to this level of bullshit, I'm on
No,
a
we work
plane
for our money
in my
here.
cowboy boots. Okay? We are not even going to try that shit. I don't associate with people that way.
No,
Secondly,
I work for my money. I work, honest work for honest pay.
exactly. Secondly, when you come into a reading with any one of us, you may have shit going on, but we're going to, I don't care if your time's up on my call, if your time's up on anything, we're going to get you to the end of that tunnel. We're going to give you tools to work with. We're going to forewarn you. Yeah, he's a narcissist asshole and you need to fuck off. Yeah, burn his shit today. That type of things. We are not going to say, "Oh, you have a generational curse on you. I need $8,000 to remove it."
Yeah.
Here's the thing: is I do believe in curses because I was cursed at one point, and it's just the whole. We're not having that conversation. That's a fucking subject for a video of its own, but one that will never happen. But I don't want to push people away. If you think you're cursed, then absolutely reach out. I don't want to shame people who may believe that they are carrying around some dark magic. But if you are, I can tell you, you won't need a psychic to tell you. Okay?
No. And your shit may be fucked up. And yeah, you may have pissed someone off and got a curse. But guess what? Curse breaking's not easy. But by golly, I'll tell you how to do it. First of all, go figure out who you fucked up and pissed off and go make amends there.
Oh, you can't always make amends, though.
I know. Then you got to start working against that shit. And I ain't met a gold candle yet that's worth $5, $10, $15, $20,000.
Right,
No,
right,
absolutely not.
exactly.
You know what? Most reversal magic, unless you're fighting somebody who actually knows what they're doing, which is rare when especially when it comes to baneful magic. There are only a handful of people that I know are capable, and most of them you'd have to do something to them to make amends for. But most of the time, it's just people can't get their name out of your mouth. Somebody just talking crap. A mirror and a candle can do a lot for $2.
Exactly. $2. Well, actually, $150.
Dollar Tree magic.
Dollar Tree magic. That's a video that me and Gwen are going to
$1 for the candle and $1 for the mirror.
Yeah. Exactly.
Yep.
Well, tapers are 2 for $0.25 there, honey.
Yep.
2 for $1. I'm telling people, and I've been preaching this since I started the show. If you think you are cursed, go to your kitchen table, get your salt shaker, take it to the bath, put it into your body soap, shake that sucker up, and get in the shower where you belong.
A spiritual cleansing, simple spiritual cleansing. A lot of times, and sometimes it's not that you're cursed; it's that you have a mental illness too. Like that's sometimes a thing, and you're beyond my professional abilities. And I'm going to tell you what I can because I think this is something that is a cross-platform thing. You need the spirituality as well as the,
clinical
as well
therapy.
as science.
Yeah, it is a duplicate world. We will never say don't go to a psychologist. We will say, yes, you need a psychologist. Yes, you need to go to therapy. You want this relationship to work? I think you're barking up the wrong damn tree. But by golly, here's the recommendation for a couples counselor. If you're local, I'll give it to you. I don't have them. If not, I'm going to say go check out the AMA and get you a therapist today.
Right. And that's one thing that I think lends legitimacy to what we do is that we don't.
Luther's got comments on it.
My dog. Did you hear that?
Yeah, that's why I said even Luther thinks this is bullshit.
Yeah, Luther thinks it's bullshit. It's bullshit. They're cool cutting that stuff.
Yeah. But,
Sorry. All right. Luther's going to have his moment on camera.
Yes.
Luther.
There is such a thing. I'm doing all over Joe's toes. Joe, take
Okay. Yeah. So while we're seeing Luther, Lisa says, "Is there such a thing as chakra cleansing? How much for those?"
Yes.
Yes, there is such a thing as a chakra cleansing. I charge $25 for it. I get it asked for very rarely. And that's normally a Reiki treatment behavior. There is a reason for it. There is places, the energy centers, everybody does get a little dirty, kind of like your garage doors. And sometimes they need a little cleansing. But that's $25.
Right.
It should be no more than $25.
Yeah, I do it as part of my Reiki. Whenever I do my treatments, I do it.
Right.
Now I never put a name to it. I just call it spiritual cleansing, because I may break out an egg. We may do a back massage. We're gonna, but I have seen Reiki sessions. If it's an hour,
Mm-hmm.
then it's like $60, because you're paying for that person's time. You're paying that person not just for their time, but also for the spaces they're using, the gas to get there.
Right, but again, $60. $60.
Yeah. And what's the scammer price?
Freaking dollars.
$1,200 Reiki session.
Yeah, is doing an inspirational dance and drumming.
I'll do that part for free.
Dance and drumming. Go to the local Pagan meetup or some shit. Honest to God, buy the album.
Yeah, but that's what I'm talking about, guys. That is what blew Aeson's mind. It's like, oh, motherfuckers. All right, Lisa, this is what I'm going to say. If you think you need a cleansing, then I want you to go and get a bottle of body wash and go and get you some salt. You need about 1/4 of a cup of salt. Mix it into a bottle of body wash, shake that up, and go take a shower and turn on your favorite music, whatever makes you thumpa to it. Right now, I'm really loving Reba's Remix Riel, whatever it is.
Now, see, I believe in the soak. I believe in the soak method. If you don't have a bathtub, if you got a bathtub, go raid your spice cabinet for some basil and salt and a little bit of olive oil, because the olive oil is good for the skin, and vinegar.
It is. Yeah, definitely a good vinegar, and soak it.
Yeah, if you don't have a tub where you can actually get down and soak your whole self in it, get you a little thing to soak your feet in it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
And then kind of use it to kind of wipe down.
Right. Do that. Do not use cinnamon. Do not use cinnamon. Lisa, you will not be happy with cinnamon in your bath.
Or strong mint for that case too.
Okay. Do that. And then if you really need a professional, Google your area and look at their reviews. Look at what other clients are saying. Look at them. Look how long they've been in business. Do they have a name for themselves? Are they like me, where you can literally come to my front door if you're in my area? If you'll get answered by the door, but you'll get answered by the ring. But you know where they live. You know who they are. You see us in our faces. You see us here. Yeah.
It's a lot of things, and I will never DM you. I think one time my Google did that to somebody. And I did. That was one of those super beginner mistakes. I did DM a couple of people to try and offer readings because they'd said something online, and I was kind of responding to that. And I've actually gotten kicked out of sites for that. And so I stopped.
Yeah,
it's like, that's just
Lisa,
shady.
Do that first, and then contact one of us. All our contacts are literally all over Google. We can arrange it.
Lisa was kind of my sister-in-law, so. So I'll take her.
All right, you scrub her up then. But again, these aren't ridiculous prices. Think about it. If you are paying someone an hour to work on your computer or an hour to do something in your house, it should be no more than that. No more than that.
I agree.
Well, and the part that blew my brain was when he was saying this, I immediately jumped over and I went for an entire Reiki training, because that's a reasonable price. $1,250 for your level 1, level 2, advanced, and masters. That's about $1,250 for that training.
I don't know, Granny. What was yours power weekend that I advised against?
Are you talking about when I went to my Reiki training?
Yeah, how much did you pay for that power weekend?
Well, actually, it took more than a power weekend. It was actually several weeks. I believe because I went through Reiki 1, 2, 3. Well, it wasn't 1,200. I can tell you that. It was far less than that.
Right.
I thought it was only somewhere around 350 or 4, but it's been several years.
Yeah. It was back when we were still on Blog Talk years ago. You went for this weekend, and I'm like, Rainey, please don't do this weekend. Do not do this weekend. She comes back sick as a damn dog. And I'm like, because you've done 1 and 2 together. And I'm like, no, Rainey, please don't. Do not do that.
That sounds like a lineup for a psychic headache right there. That's just asking for it.
That is asking for more than a psychic headache. That was I think you threw up. You were sick for about a month.
Yeah. And you know what? They actually told me to expect to, have your body kind of releasing a lot of stuff. So I wasn't real surprised,
Well, I know.
Yeah.
But it was intense. What I'm saying is, and the whole point to this was, do not, people, please use the power of Google. Every professional reader will have a website. Every professional reader will have contacts. Every professional reader will have feedback.
Right.
Good and bad. There are people out there I've read for, and they hate me. They hate everything I said.
Well, Nolan, please feel free to drop in your date of birth and your question, and please be specific, no general readings. So, no, Nolan, I think we're going to bippity-boppity ban you there, buddy. Sorry about that. I thought you were being serious.
Yeah, but
you are not.
So since we were on kind of on the subject, and this is the perfect group of people to talk with it about, how about psychic hangovers?
Psychic hangovers. You know what, Lisa? You may be cleansed. Psychic hangover, sorry.
Because Dottie and Aeson, and Joe, you know about this. Would talk to you guys about it. It happened to me, and I came to you guys for advice. So, can we talk about it?
Yeah, we can talk about psychic hangover.
So there's this thing called event drop.
Okay.
And I think it really kind of adds to the psychic hangover. The part of it, especially if you've been reading, if you've been planning for an event, you go there and it's high energy all day. And then the next day you get home and you're like, I can't move. And life sucks. And you just have run out of energy.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So there's that one.
Headache,
but then there's also, I noticed,
headaches, body aches, sick to the stomach,
it's
whole.
It's like a hangover,
everything.
yeah. It's like, I didn't drink that much last night.
That's the other problem. That's the other problem, and he runs into that. There is one event he does specifically. And it's a Halloween party, and it's a great party. We love the event hosts. They're absolutely amazingly wonderful. But that is a night where they have drink tickets for the attendees of this party. So he's doing back-to-back readings on people that have been drinking.
Oh my God, it's like a flashback to the bar.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. So he actually gets really tipsy by the end of the evening. He's starting to get literally drunk. Hasn't had a drop of anything but water.
Yeah.
Or coffee.
Yeah. I have a DD for that event, not because I'm drinking at the event, but because I'm reading so many drinks that the energy just, it feels like literally. And luckily, my previous career allowed me to be in the bar scene, so I learned how to handle my alcohol. It is famous that Aeson can drink a lot of people underneath the table, but the more I get that tipsy feeling, the more bitchier I get. The more
my God, yeah,
into it. Yeah, the more I go in there and go, oh, honey child, he a cheating little asshole. I think you should burn his shit. Oh, you don't want that job? Quit that job because he's a fucking asshole too. I think you need to pick up and move to Texas where you damn belong. And the girl's sitting there in tears going, I've been wanting to go home for years.
Oh.
Yeah. Well, now
that's a sign of a good event, though. Like, because if you don't send somebody away from the table crying, you are not properly tapped in.
Oh, 2019, I've threatened to take out stock in Kleenex. He could not read one person that year without dropping them to absolute blubbering tears. Event after event after event after event. I'm like, at the rate that we are going through the Kleenex on the table, we're buying stock.
Right.
Like, I am literally like, call up, put some money in your E-Trade. We're buying stock in Kleenex. This is ridiculous.
I was actually thinking about putting that in my psychic travel box.
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh,
That's a really good idea. Yeah. I never thought about that.
Yep.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because it happens. And, like, you know, because in the beginning, it was like occasionally it would happen. But that year, I swear to God, he could not read for anyone without causing them to cry. Tears of joy, tears of sadness, tears of what the fuck ever. Tears. All tears. Tears of laughter. Just like across the board, every reading ended in a puddle. And it was like, you gotta, like, what the hell, man?
What? They're getting a job promotion. What? They're getting, married. What? They're having, they're going to finally move to where they want to live.
I know, but we're buying travel packs at Sam's. Like, this is, like, I thought salt was going to be our business, biggest weirdo business expense. No, turns out it's Kleenex. That was the biggest weirdo business expense.
But I could see that. I could see that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
I mean, I would be using the salt for me because often in between readings, I got to run in and get a shower, put a little sea salt in the shower gel, get in there and get a shower so I can go do the next reading. But I could see the Kleenex for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah. Okay, so Lisa has a couple of comments and a question. And not a reading question. So Lisa points out, I live in Florida now. Today I did a dip in the Gulf of Mexico. Very cool, very cool. And gets headaches during the full moon. That's an interesting topic. And can anyone do relationship repair between family members?
You can. On yourself. You have to do the work. You have to pick up the phone and call and talk and repair that work and rebuild that relationships. You have to do the work.
So now what about the headaches during full moon? What is that
That's
about?
Empathism.
Yes.
That's picking up that energy.
You either have an untapped energy that you need to start working with, or you need to learn how to ground.
Right. That would be a good time to eat heavy pasta, Lisa. Well,
you haven't met my family.
Again, honey, if you want the repair work, you have to do the work.
No, she's the only one I still communicate with from there.
But again...
Okay. Well, then again, sometimes you also have to step back, and I'm just putting this out here as a non-psychic, and
Thank
go,
you.
but is it worth it?
Yeah.
Is it worth, like, what are you, like, sometimes you just have to label people toxic and move on.
Right.
Yeah.
And, like, that's all there is. There's never gonna be what I call a Kodak moment. Like this dream you have that we're all going to sing Kumbaya and someone's going to come by with a camera and take this lovely family photo that you can put on the wall and have your lovely Kodak moment. Never going to happen.
No.
It isn't. There's no version of it.
I'll be right back. Lucy's crying.
Okay.
May I say something on that?
Yes.
And I understand what Aeson is saying here, and in some situations, I completely agree with you. You got to pick up the phone, you got to start working on it. But I also, and I feel like this is because I've had to make some of these decisions personally in my life, and I've given a lot of people guidance on this because, sometimes you are working in a situation with certain family members where I'm sorry, they're beyond dysfunctional.
Mm-hmm.
And it is better for you, especially someone who may be very empathic or intuitive. Okay. We need to set boundaries for ourselves. We need to not allow ourselves to go into that energy, and we have to step away sometimes. Sometimes we have to allow them to go through their crap without us.
And sometimes you have to issue pink slips.
Right, exactly. Going back to my mother's funeral, okay. I was back there for a month, and I have relatives who I've walked away from years ago, who literally were coming and sitting down and talking to me, and I'm thinking, did something happen here that I don't know about? I mean, we're talking about, wars. I just walked away, and I think over time, they changed. Obviously, I've changed. I'm forever changing. I'd like to think, that's part of my goal in life. We got to move forward, elevate. And, it was sometimes time with certain situations. We all grow up and get past some stuff. And it's okay to come together then. Doesn't mean you have to be best friends. It means, oh, you know what? I can sit here and talk to Aunt such and such, even though she was a dirty, nasty beastie for 40 years to me. Okay, cool. So you can have that. And then there's other people who they're just going down the road. You can't go with them anymore. You've got somebody who's got serious alcoholism or drug addiction. Okay, I mean, beyond. You got to walk away. You got to take care of yourself. Love them. But take care of yourself. Let them go learn their life lesson, because they're not listening to you.
So again, and Lisa's commenting about all she needs to do is peace with her dad. Everyone else is toxic. Then you call your dad and talk to your dad alone. That's the only one you need to have connection with.
Well, and moreover, I think two things you also have to realize are: one, if these are people he chooses to have in his life, he already knows who they are. Two, if you want peace for him, you're totally allowed to have that, and to give that, and to act accordingly in those situations. That's all you can control of that. If someone else wants to be a hot mess and walk in and be drama central and it's all about them and blow up and be a train wreck, that's what they're choosing. And again, if he's choosing to be around those people, he knows, he finds that acceptable on some level. So, he already knows what it's going to be. It sucks. Like, there's a lot of times I've seen situations with people that it's like, this totally sucks that you're in this situation, but at the same time, you are also kind of choosing it. Like, you have to choose your own exit doors and throw people out them.
It's really important to understand, and this was a hard one for me to accept. And I'll say it as accept, because I thought that once people came into my life, I needed to hold on to them. I needed to do anything that I could to make them stay with me and love me. The hardest part for me, and it is for a lot of people, is accepting the reality that not everybody is supposed to stay in your life. That people can come and go and leave in and out, and because of the lessons that you need to learn. And it's all about your own personal growth that you see these things.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to say this. That doesn't, all of this is true, but that doesn't make it an easy situation. And I want to just show some compassion here, because I know that, like, my father-in-law might be dead for all I know. I'll never find out because I had to cut off my ex. And that's hard. And in some ways, if these people aren't willing to talk to you, then they're not going to be there in the time of need anyway.
Right.
If you're not able to get support from them now, you never will.
Right. Right.
Well, and I think my personal life experience one is, if you had ever said to me that my dad was going to be at the end of his life and he's going to, one, apologize to you for all the bullshit he put, me through, and then ask me to get in his vehicle, drive from Princeton, West Virginia, at the southern tip of the state, to Huntington, West Virginia, to pick up and when I call her a crack whore, I mean she was a prostitute who did cocaine. Crack whore, I'm not being hateful. That was his girlfriend, to be with him at the end of his life. I would have laughed hysterically and said, one, there's so many reasons that'll never happen. But two, I wouldn't have believed that he would have chosen that to be how he exited the world. But that happened.
I mean, if you gotta go.
Yet, hey, don't make me think about it. That's where I'm at with that. Don't make me think about it. But no, I mean, it was a situation like, this is what he chose. This is what he wanted. Okay, fine. I would have chosen differently. Like, that wouldn't have been but what's behind door number 1, 2, or 3. But that's where he went. And so those were the choices he made. For whatever reasons he made them, I will not understand and refuse to, actively. But if you had ever told me that, I would have been like, you're flipping crazy. Yeah. But that's what he chose. People are weird. That's where I chalk that up at is people are weird.
Yeah.
They make choices we don't always understand. And there it is.
Right. All right. Well, guys, we've been here for 2 hours. It's been great having you guys here. It's been great talking with our listeners. We love our listeners. For those that are new listeners to us, we are here every Tuesday at 9:30. We are here every Friday at 9:30. Sometimes we're a little late, but we're here. We're taking calls. We also have other shows separately and different things going on. So we're going to start out with Miss Dottie, and you guys talk about other shows or other things you're doing so that people know where to get a hold of you. Remember, this does go into podcast form. So if you have a website or something, please spell it out so that our listeners can locate you there too.
You can Google me, DOTTIE, the psychic. Right now I have a podcast that I usually get. I try to upload my live streams to the podcast and then do like a special episode maybe once a month that is just on the podcast. My YouTube channel is a unique thing of chaos. But it's a lot of fun. I'm also on Facebook, DottieThePsychic.com, and Patreon. Keen.
Miss Gwen?
I am at LadyGwendolynHealing.com. I am also on Keen. I have a show starting back at the first of the year. January is going to be rebranded, which this is new to you guys because I haven't got to tell you yet. Divination Night is going to be rebranded to Lady Gwendolyn's Divination Night because I'm moving it over to my Lady Gwendolyn site. And I've already got some people booked for that. So it's for any readers whatsoever. It's just about people coming on and doing readings for people and having a chat, kind of like this, but just different types of divination. So I'm really excited about that. But yeah, you can find me at Appalachian Oddities, second Saturday of the month, and doing readings there. So that's pretty
And
much
your
the bulk of it.
website is spelled how?
LadyGwendolynHealing. Oh no, HeaLing.com.
There you go. All
It's
right,
just
so I'm
a
gonna
bit
let
too
you
long.
guys go. Thank you so much for coming in tonight.
Happy 13th. Lucky
Happy 13th.
13.
Safe travel
Yeah.
and much profit to you.
Love
Safe
you
travel,
guys.
darlings. All right. So, Miss Randy, what are you up to?
Well, presently, at this moment, I am continuing to do private readings still. However, you can reach me on keen.com as well. I'm under Rain S. Love. I also have my own personal site. It's called Psychic Rain, RAINE, love.com. And you can also find me on Facebook under Love Rain. If you can't reach me any other way, my phone number, which is also listed on psychicrainlove.com, but it is 303-416-2977. If you want to set an appointment, text me, catch me on Facebook, or go to psychicrainlove.com. I am so absolutely excited and thrilled that we got to do this tonight. This is very, very enjoyable to me. Just
Yeah, honey. And you
loved it.
know that we're on Tuesdays. You can come and pop in anytime you want. You know, the seat is still
I
there
just
for you.
pop in here and you guys wouldn't go, wow, what's she doing?
No, you can't. Well, message us so that we can give you the updated link. But yeah, come on.
Absolutely.
I actually would like to do that because I went, this is so much fun. I miss this so much. And I've just been so busy with other life things. But this has
when
been
you're ready,
really,
you're
really
welcome to come back, honey. You know, you went away on tour and then life happened. I didn't take you off the show. You just weren't here.
He just said, Rain needs to go on the road.
Well, you had planned on going on the road.
Yes.
You know, you were going to be gone for like 3 months, and it's like,
and then all this stuff happened. And I didn't realize that it had been that long. I have to be honest. But yeah, this was an absolute pleasure. What I really like is the connection, but I really always enjoy it when we can explain to people, this is how someone who is authentically trying to help you and guide you, you know, and authentically be there to help you grow on your own life path.
Right.
This is how we deal with it. Okay. We're not here trying to go, gee, I'll charge you $9,000 for a rock, or you've got a curse. We've had many discussions about that. And I think that's so, so important because people need to have people that they can trust, whether it's us or somebody else. You know, yes, we want to learn to trust.
There are really good psychics out there. There are a lot of great psychics that work. They work hard. They work every day. And they're authentic. And they do not want every penny on your bank account. They do not charge a gazillion dollars. And most of them will look at you and say, you know what? You need a reading, but you need food in your house. Sit down, let's have a conversation. I'm going to have a cup of coffee. We're going to talk. And then you're going to go away and go buy your food. And then if you get in a better time, come back and see me.
Right, exactly. And I believe that many of us, that's what we're all about. And it's a moral thing for us, if you will, when we find out. That's why you get so angry. I've been so angry. We've had those discussions about people who do that, because our goal is to try to come in here and help you along your path, answer your questions, see what we see. And I know that you have, I believe I have, I hope that I have, I've been told that I have had an impact on other people's lives.
Right.
Not because we want to be, this great person getting all this acknowledgement, because that's an important part of who we are and what we bring spiritually into this life.
Right. Very much so. And that's what we're supposed to be doing. That's why we came down here. And we're just as good as Google. That when I say we're just as good as Google, we tell you what direction to go. No one's going to ever tell you, you go left, but you turn right. We're going to I have some people, well, you told me not to call him. I did anyhow.
I know.
I
get it all the
you're going to
time.
not call him again?
Please don't do it. And they'll go, I did it anyway. And I'm like, okay, here we go again. Let's start over.
Recalibrating. Recalculating your route.
When you're like on your 5th, 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th year of somebody doing it again and again, it's like, all right, let me explain this. I don't ever judge. I just try to say, here again are the consequences. This is what the goal we're trying to reach here. This is for your greater good. But until they get that lesson, they're going to keep making that phone call.
Right. And we're going to keep going. All right, recalibrating. Yeah, you wanted that relationship, and it's there, and it's going to be there, but it's now going to be another month, another 2 months. Leave it alone. Stop the
and that's the hard
behavior.
thing. They often don't understand that. Well, I don't understand. Well, you didn't. Come on, I told you.
Yeah.
The universe is saying, allow things to happen. Anyway, I know we have to go. I had so much fun. It was such a pleasure. If you guys come up with a plan, or if you want me to come on, hey,
cool.
It was fun.
We'll Zoom with you, because I'm sure Rainy S. Love needs some updates. All right, darling. We'll see you later.
Okay. Happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary, darling. All right. So this is the end of our show. And we're going to close it like we close every show, because
I'm on the wrong side of the screen now. Like, I'm all messed up.
There you go.
There we go. Okay, now I know how to function. Awesome. So, of course, we want to thank our Patreon sponsors. We love our baristas. We really do appreciate your support. Specifically, we want to thank Beverly Walker, Mika G, Kathy, Mary Winfield, Brenda Bryan, Ashley Giss, Shannon C, Shannon D, the ever wonderful Lady Gwendolyn, who was just on a little bit ago, and Charles Shaw. If you'd like to learn more about us, the show, or how you too can become a Patreon sponsor and receive all the wonderful benefits our baristas receive, please visit us at PCSPnetwork.com.
Yeah. Thank you guys for an awesome 13 years. Didn't think this would be 13 years, but it's grown into a lovely, lovely show that I look forward to every night. Take care of yourselves. Wash your hands. Wear your mask when you need to. Get a vaccine as soon as you can. If you haven't been able to get your boosters when they send. And always listen to yourself. Good night, y'all.
Good night.
This is a calm before the storm. You know what's coming, so be warned. You can't